What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Ham Radio Crash Course. Welcome to Saturday. Today, we are talking about backpacking. Specifically, putting a pack on your back and getting out in the field. And bringing radios with you. We have a big weekend coming up next weekend that I happen to be backpacking that weekend. And I'm going to talk about my preparations to be radioactive on Jamborees on the air. So enjoy the memes, and we'll get started real soon. What is up, everybody? How's it going? I hope you're having a good weekend. I believe there's a QSO party going on right now because I was hearing the QSO party while I was getting ready for this live stream. So hopefully you're out there having a little bit of fun. I am going to be backpacking next weekend, and it just so happens that it's Jamboree on the air time, and I'm backpacking with a troop of scouts, and it's a lot of scouts. We're talking. I think it's like 40 something people that are all going on this backpacking trip, which is insane. It's the easy backpacking trip, quote unquote, and so it's like 3 miles or something along those lines. So it's pretty serious, and because it's Jamboree on the air, I obviously would always be bringing radios. There's no question of that, right? There's no question. But my desire now is to have something where I can demonstrate radio, right? I probably would have brought a QMX. Don't worry, we're going to talk about some radios and stuff like that. I probably would have brought the QMX in this case, and I would just run earbuds, and that's it. But because I'm going with scouts alone, I need a speaker. I need, And there's a lot of other stuff that we're going to cover and talk about. Also, just good backpacking gear as well. I've got a bunch of links in the video description, including my Amazon list of a lot of the major gear things that I bring in my backpack. Now, keep in mind, a lot of what I pack is as light as possible. I had a tore ACL and I have meniscus damage on my right knee, and I have, it's been replaced and worked on a bit. But regardless, because of that, I try to go light so I don't hurt my back, right? It's kind of the big thing. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming out. So let's go to the top here. Boy, all my links are broken, and my website was my video wasn't coming through. There it is. Look at that. It's like it was right there. It was so close, and then it was, just took it a second. And now it's right there. Go check out hamtactical.com, the home of the Ham Radio Crash Course and the Ham Radio Crash Course podcast. This is a website that my wife actually curates and runs, and there are a ton of different shirts and merch items that we have created throughout the years, largely through your fun in ham radio and the jokes that we do on the podcast. So, yeah. There is a big weekend coming up. ARRL weekend, I say month. Correction, month. For those of you that are active ARRL members, we got a bit of an election going on right now. And I got my letter in the mail. It's actually a 2-sided letter that has your unique code and a website that you use to log in to vote. It's right there, escvote.com/ARRL. And you have to use that code that they provide. I already voted because they send it to me in an email as well, so I just went ahead and did that. If you're in California, highly recommend Rick Paquette and John Kitchens, director and vice director. Those are my picks, so make sure you go check that out. Okay? All right, very good. So Jamboree on the air, right? We've talked about this in the past. I've done a video, kind of. I talked about it in live streams on the past. Jamboree on the Air is the largest scouting event in the world, right? And what is it? Well, we are interested in the aspect of radio. But there's also a sister event called Jody, which is Jamboree on the internet. Yeah, instead of on the air. So the whole concept behind Joda is to get scouts on the radio, right? That's how this works. It doesn't matter age of scout, it doesn't matter rank, it doesn't matter anything like that. It's just get them on the air. If it's merely talking to other people that are on a repeater, no problem. If that is working a satellite contact, cool, but kind of a fast burn, right? You're like, boom, one and done. Satellite passes over in 10 minutes. It's like, okay, everybody go home. Now, when it comes to HF, I think that's like the magic of Joda. And when I have ran a Joda station, it was really cool getting the scouts where I was at here in Southern California to talk to scouts in Seattle and on the other side of the country. And that's kind of how this works, right? So you set up a station, likely in an area where scouts are, and then you get them on the air to talk to other scouts. Now, how you best do that is you contact your local district or council, right? So there is a council locator. I'll drop the link in the video description here. I think it might already be in the video, but I'll drop it in the chat too. And you see what they're doing for Jamboree on the air. What will sometimes happen is there will be a weekend camp out, same time. And you can kind of volunteer to go set up your station at a given period of time at the camp out. And then you can kind of roll through scouts through that period of time. If you already have a child or a family member that's in scouting, it's probably an easier path to get you to be able to set up the station because you can just go with your child, and that's generally what I have done. So everybody watching me right now is probably already ham, so the question is do you have a scout in your family or not, right? But once you get your station there and set up, the idea is to kind of have them talk to other scouts about what they do in scouting, what interests them, what they're excited about, all that other stuff, right? So how long you been a scout, what rank are you, what's your favorite merit badge, your favorite project you've done, what's your favorite thing to do? So hiking, camping, canoeing, rifle shooting, all the stuff that scouts do, right? So all kinds of different options. I am planning to go on this backpacking trip with an HF radio. I've already mentioned that. But there is another aspect of this as well. And by the way, K2BSA has a amazing collection of information on Jamboree on the air, the radio merit badge, whole bunch of other stuff. So I'll drop that as well. Here's a really good guideline for amateur radio operators. But there's another event going on. At the same time, the same weekend marks a special event for the ISS. So next weekend, there will be SSTV transmissions from the ISS that will feature, there'll be scout-themed images, basically. So now I'm considering, it's like, now I got to bring some kind of a Yagi and try and get the ISS downlink as well. I'm considering foregoing that and just using like one of those half-wave telescoping whips. That might work, that might pass. And then, it cuts down on the weight of having to drag an elk antenna in my backpack. But we'll consider that as we go forward. All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. I'm looking at the chat here. By the way, if you at Ham Radio Crash Course with questions as we go through this, I'll take them live. And we'll be ending the show when we're done here in, I guess, in about 50 minutes or so. We're going to wrap this up and start a new live stream called the After Chat. That's where you get to ask your questions live. So take the link in the video description to the Discord, or just wait for the next show and you can ask your questions there. But the Discord allows you to ask questions live with your voice, and that helps a lot usually. But there is an additional challenge. So backpacking trip, no big deal. Bring an HF, simple. I do that anyway. Doing an SSTV ISS downlink, it's probably workable. That's fine. But there's another hurdle. And this is a factor of my gear planning as well. There is a fire restriction in place, particularly in the Angeles forest. And I got to say, man, when I went to this website and I saw this, the radical left Democrats shut down the government. That's the warning, dude. That's just right on the page. Was not expecting this. But anyway, so the Angeles National Forest alerts from the period of August 28th to January 30th, no flame or sparks can be brought into the Angeles forest. So that means no campfires, no camp stoves, no grills, anything with an open flame or spark is prohibited in the forest. So I will be what they call flameless, or I don't know. I got to figure out other food options. So I'm going to talk about some challenging food options as well as we go through this. But who, buddy, was not was not expecting that in my bingo card for the camp out. I do have some links here as well to the ham radio camp out or ham radio backpacking hiking gear. I dropped that in the video description for the things I recommend, which we're going to talk about as we go along here. But man, crazy times. Anyway, question to you guys: did you go backpacking, and would you bring radio? And what radio have you traditionally been bringing? Let's hear it in the chat. Love to hear your thoughts there. Yeah, I love. So it's such a okay. I'm gonna go back to this for a second. I made a post on Instagram, basically saying, "Hey guys, what are some of my pro backpackers' favorite like flameless cooking or no heat setups for food when you're on the trail?" And I swear, 50% of everybody replied, "Oh, just bring like a little one of those butane stoves. Just use that." And I literally said no fire, no flames in the post. People just can't get it in their mind that like no fire, like literally nothing with a flame, no sparks, nothing. Can't have it, right? Can't have it. Now, I hear what you're saying, Interstellar Starman, because a campfire is like one of the most important things when you go camping, right? And so the fact that you're like, we're just going to go out there and we're not going to have a fire, is that okay? Can we do that? So, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But yeah, no fire whatsoever. So let's go ahead and go to the tabletop here, and we'll talk about some of my favorite gear items. And also just a bit of a chat about radio up front and when you go in the field. No sterno cans. No flame. No flame. No flame. No flame. There it is. Yeah, we're going to talk about MREs. You're definitely on the right track with that one. So let's go ahead and talk about some of this gear. Now, for amateur radio in the field, particularly when you're backpacking, right? And this is not me saying you can't carry, large radios or large equipment like that. Far from it. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying for me, I tend to go more with the lightweight stuff, right? So I've got a decision to make. I'm probably going to go wire antenna. So I'll likely be bringing some kind of a mast. And it's a toss-up between the HRD Ham Radio Dude Little Dude 6 or the Explorer POTA 20. Both are good. Both are different, though, right? A little bit longer with the POTA 20, and it's a little bit skinnier, right? So I have links. You can go check these guys out, but I've done videos on both of these guys. I like them both. They're both really good. They have different pros and cons. The fact that this is a bit skinnier can help if you got a lot of water you have to pack in. Thankfully, this is not a dry campsite, so we'll actually have a water source that we can filter off of. And the Ham Radio Dude antenna at the top is actually like stays affixed to the piece. So you don't ever have to worry about losing the cap, which is pretty nice. And you can run your wire through there, or you can run it through the little hole, which you might be able to see. Yeah, right there. So I haven't decided yet, but you're always going to have a mast of some kind. At least I would, particularly when you're trying to pack light. As far as antennas, oh, buddy, we got to give the recommendation to K6ARK. So this is his end fed. That's the unun. This is the unun of the antenna. That's the part that just connects to your radio. And you just get the wire in the air as best of your ability. This will get you all the way down to 40 meters, this piece of wire. And it's, super lightweight. So I always pack this in my radio HF bag, regardless of what radio I'm taking. Usually it's going to be QRP. But what a cool. So anyway, shout out to Adam. That'll be in the pile up as well. Now for radios, I've talked about the 705. How much I like the 705, but it's not my backpack radio. It's a little too big, a little too heavy. So what I generally take when I'm going to be, trying to have other people around, family, whatever, people that might be interested is the KX2. KX2 has kind of just been a staple for a really long time for that. And I think my little speaker died. Nope, it's there. Here's that QSO party. Let's see if we can hear him. There's a QSO party going on.
Okay, Whiskey Alpha 2, Kilowatt, Mexico. Thank you for the call, Kevin. Have you 5x5, 55 coming into Oklahoma, Oscar Kilo. The name is Sai, Sierra India, SI.
Fantastic. Yeah, so KX2 is nice. It doesn't have the little waterfall. You don't see the spectrum display, but it's so packable, and it does pretty much everything. I'm probably not going to be doing FT8. I maybe would do a little bit of CW, but honestly, it's going to be to get the other scouts on the air. So KX2 is form fit for that. Only downside with KX2 is it's an under-firing speaker, right? If you're not familiar with this radio, which is kind of the reason I'm doing this video, is we haven't talked about some of this stuff in a while. The KX2 has a speaker on the bottom of it, and so that's okay. But if it's windy, or if it's just, if the signal's just not that loud, the speaker's just not that strong. And so once you have it kickstand up and it's tilted facing you and you're in a good operating position, it can be a little quiet. I saw somebody in the chat earlier saying the FTX1 is very loud. It is, but the problem is that the FTX1 is huge. And it's heavy. The FTX1 isn't. Oh, there it is. Somebody mentioned it. An incredibly heavy radio. I would take the 705 before I would take the FTX1. Again, nothing wrong with it. I'm talking about backpacking. Right, backpacking. So I'm carrying all the weight on my person. And so for that, the Elecraft is usually a better way to go. Now, I do have a baggie that I don't know if I'm going to bring this or not, but this is an easy extra little bit of kit. If you are backpacking and just maybe doing a short POTA or doing something along those lines, then I would carry this around, and this just gets me digi-rig capability. So I will be able to wired interface to a computer of some kind. So I do keep this around. Yeah, that's another option as well. I don't have a KX3 though, so I respect that. It is a little big though too for backpacking, right? You got to keep in mind you're going to do, 6 or so miles, and then you're going to work the radio for maybe an hour or two, and then you got to carry that whole thing back. There's nothing wrong with that, of course, but at the same time, it's kind of like, yeesh, yeah. Yeah, that there, not a bad idea, right? The Chinese USDR even has a speaker on the front. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're talking about radios that are much older, right? KX2's been around for a little while. Yeah, as far as that, you can't really beat the KX2 for the quality of the radio you get for it. So yeah, this is the one I'm taking. Now, how I pack this all up, and I don't normally pack the speaker, but I think I'm going to bring it just in case. It's a little bit louder. So this guy, you unplug. Okay, it's off. So I'll leave them on the side for a little bit. So packing this guy up is pretty straightforward. I'm gonna turn him off, and I'm gonna show you what I pack along with the kit so that you see what I run. All right, so I have a low pro case that I carry the radio in, and I've been rocking this kit for a really long time. I think this was actually also a recommendation of K6ARK. I probably even bought this using his affiliate code. But it's like kind of almost designed perfectly for the KX2. And I bet you could fit other radios in their design of equipment, bags and whatnot. To that, I also bring an AX1 antenna that just lives in the air so that I can always have an extra antenna if I need to. And this goes down to 40 with this coil. So that's worked out. It's worked out okay. It's a good backup antenna. But that just lives there. Now, the K6ARK antenna is going to go in there as well, but this fun little pouch here on the side, this little pocket, is where I keep the radio wire, a K6ARK microphone that I printed the shell for. We've tested this on the air. Sounds really good. A pair of Sea Crane, even, earbuds. Of course, an extra BNC to SO239, and a USB in to 12 volt out converter from Tufton. I think I have them linked in the video description. If I don't, it's TUFTELN. And so this allows you to plug in like a USB bank of some kind, and you can charge off of it, which is really nice. I'm going to show you another way of doing that that's a little bit handier, but I generally always will carry that just to keep in the bag. And then I think last but not least, I carry a Palm Pico paddle. In fact, I may switch out my Palm Pico paddle. I'll put this into storage and bring out my neon green and transparent one. In fact, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Anyway, this all gets popped in here, and that's kind of exactly how I roll around when I'm taking the KX2. And this kit stays this way all the time so that I just have everything I need in case I need to just grab this radio and go. It's ready for me. Now, what is often in here, and I don't know where I put, there it is. I do also usually carry a backup battery, and this is the internal battery for a KX2. This is their little, what is this? Oh, man. It's an 11-volt pack, but I was going to give you the product ID. Anyway, this works in two ways, though. It can plug into the side of the radio, directly into the side, and it'll just run the radio, even if you have a battery inside of this. Or it can actually go inside the radio, which you then run, and it lives on the side like that. But this week, I think I'm going to forgo that, save a little bit of weight, so that I can pack. By the way, this goes in there. It lives inside there, just like that. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do instead. So, you saw this little cable here? I am going to take my battery bank, which, by the way, the battery bank I'm actually going to take is in another backpack right now. It's the little super thin carbon fiber one. But if you plug in USB-C, and then you plug into the power port here, that little flash of light, that's the charging circuit. It's got enough battery that it doesn't need to charge, and there's obviously a battery in here. But I'll be able to run this radio off of this battery bank in case I run out of the primary battery, which is possible. So this is a super cheap little power delivery dongle that takes in USB-C and spits out 12 volts, right? And so this is a really handy tool. This works with just about any QRP radio. The small QRP radios, right? So your FCX4 should run off of this. Even the Yaesu, I think, might run off of this. The 705 will charge off of this. And you can charge your radio back up or just run it off of this battery bank, which is great because now you've cut down on extra weight of carrying an extra battery pack that won't charge your phone or charge a Garmin or charge some other device. This one battery pack will get you through a weekend and maybe give a little juice to your radio. So I'm going to probably ditch this guy in favor of just carrying a battery backup, which I generally would be doing anyway. So great. It's, saving me a little bit of time, a little bit of money, and that's good to go. As far as HTs in the field, so with going out and potentially getting an ISS activation or ISS SSTV contact going, I am going to be bringing my D74. And it's for a couple of reasons that I'll tell you the big one right up front. You ready for the big one right up front? This battery pack. This battery pack is massive. This battery pack is super cool. And I forget, let me pull up the website because I've got it. I have it linked in the description here. Hold on one second. I wanted to pull this up so you guys could see it. And there's a discount too, I believe. So if you go to W0AEZ, they have batteries for the Kenwood as well as other radios. And so it's an expensive boy. It's an expensive boy. But it is a 5 amp hour USB charging battery. And man, I'll be able to run all weekend with this. So this is where I'm saving the extra weight. We were talking about how I'm not bringing that other battery for the KX2. Well, I basically threw all that into this thing because, boy, howdy. The reason for that is I want to not only try and work the ISS to be able to downlink their SSTV, but I'm, of course, going to be running APRS and bringing on my little BB Link device, this guy here. The BB Link allows me to do WindLink from my phone. This allows me to have email in the field as well as APRS things directly from the Kenwood or connect to my phone via the device, and I can just then chase the the ISS SSTV downlinks as well. So that's going to be one of the things that we're going to be really focused on, and I'm pretty excited about that. It's going to be a good event for that. Now, some information there. Oh, we're already getting APRS. By the way, that's up and running if somebody wants to send me something. We'll see it. All right, so what else? Well, I also recommend some kind of a tablet of some kind, something that you can take notes on or use as a log. I like Write in the Rain as well, ham radio things that you just kind of keep with you. That's always good to have. And a backup key maybe, but that's up for you to decide. I won't be taking it this time, but I generally will also carry some kind of an audio recorder. And that's usually not because I need it in the field per se, but it's because I'm usually going to be making a video on whatever it is when I'm out there. So this is really nice to have because you get the dual inputs. You get the input, the output, I mean. So you can listen to the radio and be able to record and use that for whatever it is you're working on. If you're actually doing a satellite activation, having a recorder is really, really nice because you can go back and listen without having to take a log down, right? The log's going to be more for doing CW and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. So there's that. I think that's a lot of the radio stuff. Keep it simple, right? I'm not going too crazy. I'm just going to keep it real simple, and that's going to be good enough, I think, for this trip for the kids. I will mention some stuff right off the top because there will be no coffee. At least I don't think there's going to be any coffee. I'm packing my favorite hydration / energy drink, which is Liquid IV. I always pack. If you've seen me at Hamvention or a Hamfest, I usually have about 2 a day, and I carry these always when I go backpacking. Usually I carry like 10, and I hand them out to the adults that start dragging. When we're heading out, when we're going home, whatever. It's like, oh yeah, you need a Liquid IV. But here, take one of these guys. It's going to keep you going. They're really, really good. And the only one that's good of all the flavors of Liquid IV, the only one that's worth any bit is the yuzu pineapple. You can throw all the other stuff out. What, no coffee? Well, again, no flame. How am I going to heat up my water? We're going to talk about heating up food. I've got some options there, but I don't have a good source for heating up water yet. And I don't know that I want to pack it, so I might just go full Liquid IV. Other thing that's kind of dumb, but I've now carried these in like every one of my backpacks on the last couple of hikes are these Noshinku. They are little spray hand sanitizers. I've also thrown these in my little chest rig when I go to Hamfest. This is always really, really good to have on you. Eucalyptus in particular seems to keep the bugs away a little bit better. But they're refillable. That's probably the best part about this. So you crack the top off, and this is actually a little seal you can replace. And they sell replacements so you don't go throwing this out and messing up the environment. What else? Mentioned only because I think it's kind of cool. A bit of optics. So this is just to represent any kind of optics if you want to bring a monocle or something along those lines. This is a Pentax FB10. I've had this, I don't even know how long now, but it's been a while. And these are little tiny binoculars. They're pretty cool, and you can kind of rotate the focus wheel, and that lowers the eyepieces, and then they just close up. So these kind of stay in usually a backpack or somewhere I'm going. Obviously, if you have a phone, particularly the phone I have now, you got probably can zoom in further with my phone these days than actually with a pair of binoculars. But I find them kind of cool. I think they're kind of fun. So anyway, that's in the list. All right, knife. I like a small straight edge or a pocket tool of some kind. Not the biggest thing, but the straight tool or the straight edge is great in a camp out situation. Extra thing to have. Azula makes good stuff. Azula Rowan. So that is on my list. Okay, let's clear a little bit of space because now we got to start diving into the bag. And then I promise I'll talk to you about food options because, you two, get out of here. My cup decided to permanently affix itself. Okay. Along with the plastic S-beaners, that I always talk about for antenna stuff, which I usually pack 1 or 2 of those on my kit as well. I like these little locking ones that is made by Night Eyes. And so how these guys work is they have a little toggle that if you take the toggle and twist it, lock it into place, these gates won't open anymore. So when I throw this on the side of my bag, this Snow Peak cup, it makes all kinds of noise so bears don't come bother us. But yeah, this is a little Snow Peak 450 titanium cup, very lightweight, well loved, as you can see from. I don't even know how it got stained like that. It's very matte, and so that seems to take up stains pretty effectively, as you can see there. But also Olight on the orange background here. This is a magnetic light that once you pull it, and it's a strong magnet to lock it in. And what's cool about this guy is when you get home after your trip, you just pop the little rubber guy off and shove this into a USB port, and then China knows where you live. No, it also charges it, but there you go. You can do that as well. So throw that in there, and you're good to go. Yeah, so that's a hot ticket. This goes outside my bag, and it's clipped to this guy. See, I locked the gate again. Ugh. Bears? Yeah, we got bears, man. We got bears and cougas. Callie's got all the stuff, man. What are you talking about? All right, next. I talked about this in another video, but it is a cool, really cool. One of my surprisingly favorite dad items. Okay, you're like, well, what? Pff, it's a thermometer, and it's a digital one. Like I don't want that, and it switches if it's upside down. I don't want a digital thermometer. What good is that? Well, I'll tell you. Hold down this button. Okay. It will tell you what the highs and lows are in a given period. Stop it. There you go. It'll tell you what the highs and lows are. So this was the minimum, 43 degrees, and the maximum was 84. This is freaking cool. And the battery lasts like a year. It uses one of those coin cell batteries. And so whenever you go into the field and the kids are like, oh my God, I was so cold. It was too much. I couldn't do it. I can't live. And you're like, son, it only got into the 50s last night. You got nothing to complain about. Human body won't even get hypothermia at that temperature if you have your jacket on. So yeah, that's a thermo drop. Thermo drop. Where is it? ThermoWorks Thermo Drop is the thermometer. A lot of fun, this one, for all those dad reasons. So this also gets clipped in here at some point. We'll get it all sorted out after the show. My dorkiest item. Yes, you will be able to make fun of me after I show you these. This is all on the outside of my pack. The Zero sandals. They are literally nothing. They're literally nothing. Like thin, don't even do much of anything other than when you get off the trail and you've been hiking all day and you want to just relax a little bit, get your feet to air out, maybe let your socks and stuff dry out. Hopefully you brought an extra pair of socks. I throw these guys on. These are also great if you, for some reason, don't sleep with socks on, but you got to wake up to go to the restroom early in the morning. Throw these guys on, go do what you got to do. The Zero shoes. Yeah. Zero, right? Is that it? Yeah. That's what these guys are called. Yeah. Zero with an X, though, spelled with an X. The Jerusalem Cruisers, man. That's great. That's great. That's fantastic. I love it. I'm going to try and remember that one. And because of my knee, oh man, I've got an upgrade. He's more plastic than man. The doctor told me I've been struggling with my knee pain. It's been really bad, and we like to go do those hikes with K6ARK. My kids in particular just love it. And the doctor's like, here, walk around. He did this traction test on me. He's like, hey, I don't think you actually have like a major problem with your meniscus or your ACL. I think you got a patella problem. And so this is actually a patella brace. And it's got this rubbery bit that kind of pushes. So if you think that this is the right side of my kneecap, it pushes the kneecap on and holds things into place. I'm shocked. The last 2 hikes, the one we did with Adam, and I did another hike with the Scouts recently, I had like no problem. I woke up, my knee didn't hurt, got home, my knee didn't hurt. My knee pain has gone down tremendously from wearing that the occasional times I need to, and I'm walking a lot, and it's been great. So major points on that one. If you are going and doing a ham radio backpacking trip of any kind, you need some sun protection. And so I got a nerdy sun day hat. It's got a flappy bit on the back. It's got a strap here or a tether so you don't lose it when you're walking around. And the nice part about this is that it's got a fold line here, and so you can literally just fold it up on itself, and it packs relatively flat. You can kind of zhuzh this around a little bit and make it wrap up a little bit better. But this is great because then you can just throw this in the side of your pack wherever, and it can just live there. So I always have that with me as well. To drink my my energy drink, I'll use a water bottle, or I'll take one of these Sea to Summit cups. Don't have any alcohol the upcoming weekend, so I don't know that I'm going to be bringing this, because oftentimes this may see a little bit of a little scotchy poo or a little bourbon. So this one may get left at home, because what's the point? I'm just going to be drinking water, and I can shake up my energy drink in a water bottle. Regardless of where I go, though, I always bring some kind of a filter. And this is true if I'm just doing a day hike. So I will have usually more water than I drink in a 3 to 5 mile range. I'll do about a liter of water in like 3 to 6 miles. It's kind of been my average. And so I will usually pack either this kind of squished up if I know there's going to be water in and around where we're going, or I'll fill it. And that's always nice to have. This is a Sawyer Bee-Free. The filter is built into the cap. So it's a squeeze bottle. You just shoot that into your mouth and you're good to go. They can be a little fussy. You kind of have to use them occasionally, so run a little bit of water through them every couple of months, and then they won't dry out on you, because once they dry out, they get real fussy. What do we got on time? Okay, we're going to have to cut over to talk about food here in a second. But the BioLite range has kind of taken over as my new favorite headlamp, largely because of the battery efficiency. I still carry the Nightcore 2, the Nightcore NU25 Classic. Still a banger, still recommended. If you don't want to go with the BioLite, the Nightcore is really, really good. But this has kind of become my standard as well, so got to have a headlamp. If you're going to be doing ham radio at night, make sure you have one that has a red light. You got to have red. Red's going to be the way to go, particularly if you're going to be writing stuff down or trying to work the radio in the dark. You're going to want to have a red light on when you're doing all that fun stuff. Definitely go that route. Wool hat doesn't need a lot of explanation there. Oh, my hot lips for my cup. This goes inside the bag because it'll pop off if it's banging up on the side of the. But that's a little rubber insulator, silicone insulator for your mouth if you're drinking coffee. The very well loved, very well used for years, Columbia Solar gloves, fingerless gloves. You will see me use these, particularly when I'm on a summit, either because of the wind or because it's really, really sunny and I don't want to get sunburned. My fingerless gloves, and these have been pretty well loved, pretty well used. Wool hat, regardless of my sun hat, I always keep some kind of wool hat. Got to have that. Usually I sleep in that. That's the primary thing there. And the buff. The buff. The buff is it's a circle. It's just a bit of fabric where there's a hole through the middle. So this can go over your forehead. This can go over your neck or around your neck. I have used this to cover my eyes when I sleep, in addition to wearing the hat. So I've got very efficient heat retention system going on with the buff. But these are great. put them over your head, cover yourself up if it's sunny. If you're out doing a summit activation, these are good to have around as well. So that stuff's always in my bag. The trash bag, the universal gallon Ziploc. This is the fold and fill. These kind of like will sit themselves up if you flip the edges over to kind of like open itself into a stand-up opening. These are great if you are going to be packing out food or food packaging or just things that get dirty. It sounds really stupid, but there's like two things you always want to have in your backpack. It's a Ziploc bag, like gallon size is great, and a trash bag, usually a trash bag, like a black plastic trash bag. And I don't mean the ones that's like the Ultra Flex stuff. You don't want that. You want like just a traditional trash bag. All kinds of good uses. You can use that as a pack liner. So for putting your radios in your bag, you can put in all your camping gear, like maybe on the bottom or whatever, then put the trash bag in, put your radios and equipment, even if it's in a water-resistant container, waterproof container, throw them in the trash bag and then kind of wrap it around, maybe tie a big knot, loose knot, and then, fold it over a couple of times. Trash bags are great. Highly recommended. Value-added item. Okay. I'm going to try to get this into the shot, but the thing that I got the most comments on with my backpack was, here is my backpack strap, left backpack strap, and here's the water bottle I normally bring, or the current one I do. It's just a smart water bottle, basically, but it's on this pouch that the water bottle just slides into, and so instead of having to pause every half a mile like all the scouts were doing, we could just go. Like, I could just walk. I can pull this out. I can drink out of it, and I'm good to go. I never had to stop, although the scouts did while we did our training hike not too long ago. How do I want to do this? I'll talk about sleep systems at the end, but let's talk about food, since that's kind of the big thing that we're having to deal with. First, couple of options here. Not saying these are the right options, but these are options. If it's just like a day thing, get yourself a sandwich and that's your dinner. I like Adam's idea of just run a burrito. Go pick yourself up a burrito before you hit the trail, and then just eat that when you get to your campsite. I pack these in my emergency go bags. These high energy bar, this peanut. It's going to be good until 2042, kids. This guy is the best one of these I've ever had. They're all horrible, but this one is totally edible. I don't know how else to put that. On a camp out that I'm going on, like that I'm going to be bringing food to eat on camp, I will not eat this. This is just not what I'm going to eat. I will be, however, bringing some kind of protein bar and some kind of meat of some kind. This is just an example of that. Pick this up. Ben will probably end up taking all of that from me like he did on the last hike. But something that I discovered. So we've ate these in our house for a while, like actually just microwave them, eat them with rice kind of thing. This is called Tasty Bite. And I didn't really think about it, but Adam was like, hey, just take Tasty Bites and eat that. So this is chickpeas with tomato, onion, and spices, and you just eat it. It is 330 calories in the container, and it has roughly 12 grams of protein. Not bad. And you can just eat this sucker, but you're like, well, I don't really want to eat that. And you can see that's what it looks like. I don't really want to eat that. I know, yeah, we got... Yeah, so the people know about the Tasty Bites. You can just buy these. They're ready to go. You can just eat them. I just recommend eating it at home. Just eat it over rice. They're really good. You can get them on Amazon. Okay. Do you want to eat that cold? Probably not. I also like dehydrated meals. This is... Oh, is it crazy high in salt? Let me see. It is crazy high in salt. It is crazy high in salt. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I guess 38%, that's one meal. It's 380 calories, though, for 38% of your daily sodium. That is high. That's on the high side. With that said, if you're hiking all day, you may want to retain some of that sodium. Right? I think so. Yeah, but I know what you're saying, but you're going on a hike. 16% of your carbs, 44 grams. Sodium, 36%, 820 milligrams. Fiber. Whoa, a lot of fiber. I guess be careful about that. 61% out of 33 calories. It's because of all the beans, because of all the legumes. I also like the dehydrated meals. That's 570 calories and 28 grams of protein. With, let's see, sodium. What? 1730 milligrams. 75% of your sodium intake. It's got what you crave, electrolytes. But you're thinking to yourself, Josh, this is like, it's not going to be warm. What are you going to do? Well, I found something. Faced with this incredibly difficult task, I found this thing on Amazon. In fact, I've got a short that's up for members right now. I think it's over on Patreon too. If it's not, I'll do that after the show. This is a think of this. Okay, I'm going to show this to everybody, and then you tell me what the process is here. What are they doing? What are they doing? Okay, so don't worry about that. That's just my little camp cleaning thing. It has a water packet that has citric acid, sodium chloride, and sodium benzate, and then it's got these little pouches. What do we think these are? These are massive heaters, by the way. So what this is it's like a portable do-it-yourself MRE heater. So an MRE, the heating pad, if you will, the effective area is like about this big. These are twice the size of that, and they unfold and they fill the bottom of this. So in my testing, in about 15, 20 minutes, and I even did it wrong for the first half of it, I heated up one of these. I just took the instructions. It said to add 1.5 cups. I put the contents of the bag in this thing and added the water. You don't drink the sodium. You're not drinking the sodium. I added the water to the food in the metal container, and then the heating pad goes in the bottom with the water packet. You pour that in there. And it got hot. It got really hot. It worked out really, really well. So I might pack this. I don't know that it's worth the wait. I haven't decided yet. I don't know that this is worth the wait. I don't know what any of this is worth it right now. So was surprised by that, the findings there. But yeah, that was a big thing for me. Now, because I went on panic mode, like, oh Josh, what are you gonna do to survive? How will you live? What will you eat? I'm like, I got a good old friend. Well, two good old friends. The eBay, of course, is one of my good old-timey friends. I looked at this year of shopping. I didn't buy that much on eBay. But my other good old friend. Ugh. Where is it? Mr. MRE. So you can buy these now. This is menu B, by the way. How many are there in here? 12? Yeah, 12. These are like $40 a box shipped on eBay. And they look legit, but we're going to open this right now and we're going to see. So hold on one second. Get into one of these. I forget that they're actually, the boxes are glued shut. I forgot about that. Yeah, MRAs are ridiculously cheap lately. No, the lava gel is not too expensive. For me, it's more than anything is the weight of it. So I'm just gonna grab one of these. I'm gonna grab one that I'd probably eat the entree out of because I don't want to open one that's like one that I'd give away. Chicken burrito bowl. That's not it. Mexican style chicken stew. That's not it. Pizza slice. Bro, they don't do omelet anymore, which is good, because those are trash. What did I buy? What menu did I buy? Did they put all the bad ones on the top? There it is. Okay. All right, if you haven't seen this, which all of you in the military that are veterans at least know this, but I'm going to show you really fast what's in one of these and what you would do if you were getting ready to take it on a hike, because you are not going to pack all of this on a hike, particularly if it's just a day hike. Yeah. Yeah, that's... Anyway, so there's a notch right there. It's literally designed for tearing open. There we go. Now, these are not light, right? These are not light. And so what they call it is field stripping, where you open that up, and you really just want the entree, which I think is... This is the Italian sausage with peppers. And then it's got a little nutrition card with it. Let's see what kind of damage... Oh, is this the heater? This looks like the heater bag. Oh, this is new, this little cardboard thing. Anyway, what's in this bad boy? So, believe it or not, less sodium, but it's also half the calories. So this is actually more sodium per weight, per volume, versus the 570 calories you get out of the jambalaya. Protein, though, 19 grams, so that's 10 grams more if you doubled it. And carbohydrates, 6%, so pretty light. It should be. It's mostly vegetables and whatnot. But what kind of crazy junk do they have in here? Where's my palm oil? That's actually not that bad. Okay. Anyway, so that's your entree. Probably want to pack that. So you want that. This is your heater bag, which this is the heater, these little sections. And if you didn't know this, the heater here is kind of the same thing as those hot hand devices. It's iron shavings. And when it's when it's exposed to water or air during its transition to iron oxide, quick iron oxide reaction, it creates heat. It gives off heat. So, yes, there is a reaction. Oh, man. Trail mix recovery with beef jerky, so you may want that. Smoked almonds, you may want that. The accessory pack that comes in these guys. Chocolate chip cookies, crackers. A lot of this stuff you wouldn't necessarily take, right? Oh, no cheese. And cranberries, which I'd probably take the cranberries. But no jalapeno cheese, so that's a lose for me. Anyway, so that's kind of what I'm dealing with. I'm probably going to take an MRE pack. Maybe I'll take that heater. Maybe I'll just eat one of these cold. You know, that's kind of what I would expect to have to do in this situation. But yeah, now let's go to the chat. Where are we at? Oh, we only got like 7 minutes left. What do you guys pack when you go backpacking with ham radio? At me in the chat. Let's bring my radio back in here. That guy's still going. He's been going through this whole live stream. No hot sauce? No hot sauce. Well, let's see. Was it in the accessory pack? No. Man, this thing's light now. Freeze-dried coffee, sugar, the roll of the individual TP. You definitely need that. Yeah, they don't do. I haven't seen a bottle in a long time. The little tiny Tabasco bottles. You got an idea? I can show you the weight. While you guys post comments, I will hit on one thing that I wanted to wrap up with. So this is my tent. And I'm telling you this for a reason. Okay, this is a very expensive tent. It's a $320 tent, and it's basically a trash bag. You can see this guy's sitting in it. It's a trash bag, okay? Real expensive, right? But look at this thing. Let me find another picture of it. So here it is. It's a single wall design tent. It's a bathtub design, so it's got a bottom, and there's ventilation that comes in so it doesn't get too much condensation. And it uses trekking poles to hold it up vertically, and then you guide the whole thing down. Right? Okay, you get the idea. Well, these are very popular, made of like Dyneema or some kind of a nylon. Sil nylon is what a lot of them are made now, I believe, along with different materials. Incredibly lightweight. But if you go to Amazon, where is it? Well, look at that. That looks a lot like that tent. And it's half the price, right? And here's another example. This Featherstone backpack is almost a direct clone of a Nemo, like Silver Spur or something along those lines. And it's very, very similar. So a lot of times for people that are getting started and they're not really sure if they're going to like backpacking, you can get a decent tent for pretty cheap if you go this route. So consider that. And then if you really like it, burn through this thing, destroy it, use it up, if you will, and then upgrade to something more expensive. So you'll learn all your newbie lessons and whatnot on something that's cheap that you don't mind really damaging, and then you can upgrade to something a little bit stronger, more expensive, higher quality in the future. Same goes for sleeping bags. So my system for sleeping is a Revelation quilt. Also not cheap. That's not what I paid though. I did not pay that much. I think that went up in price. But it's kind of like a sleeping bag except the back is open and I sleep on an inflatable mat, like a cushion. These are great, but also really expensive. And so you can just go down to REI even and get one of their cheaper sleeping bags. The only downside is that it's going to be heavier, right? So other options exist for that, and that's what you generally what you're generally looking for. So if you guys want me to, I can what time? Yeah, we got a couple of minutes. Let's throw all this stuff in there, and maybe I'll throw in one or two of the meals. Let me see if I've got my. Okay, the only thing that's not in here is my quilt, but my trekking poles are in the bag. I'll leave those in the bag because that's roughly the same weight as my quilt. In fact, I think my quilt is lighter. So let's throw in. I'll even throw in. No, you know what? Let's do it without the food in there. We'll do it full dry weight. Yeah, let's do it that way. Okay. So let me grab this stuff. So all this got to go back in. And you want me to include the radio too, right? Should I include the radio in this? I think I have to. Sure, why not? For expediency, I'm just shoving everything into the bag. I'll deal with it after. I think I'm going to go with the little dude. That's kind of where I'm at right now. And yes, I'll be weighing the Zero shoes as well. Let's see, what else? Should I include the oven? Why not? It's a penalty. Okay. So that's the backpack. Let's pack up my KX2 real fast. Okay, that's in the bag, and K 770 D75 with the antenna goes in its little pouch. Okay, what else am I missing? Ah, my headlamp. No food. I think that's it. Oh, the bee-free water bottle. There's actually 3 water bottles in there now. Okay, let's where's my scale? Hold on, let me grab my scale. Okay. should happen to that thing? MRE box is blocking me. I've got one of these hangy scale deals. I'm guessing it's 22 pounds. Forgot how to take this thing out of kilograms. We'll adjust it after. All right, so let me do the math. It is 8.01 kilograms. 8.01 kilograms. That's my whole backpack. Here, I'll show it with it on. It's not rolled, though. No, so I'm not bringing a chair. Actually, I'll show you that, too. So this is the backpack. 17 and yeah, so once I add water and the food, it'll be 20-ish pounds. This feels great. Feels great. You wear this. Ugh. And you got your pouch here that I keep the 75 in. It does have a strap or a belt. Okay, so I'll show you. It's not folded up either, but it's a fold top. And this is a big backpack. It'll hold a lot. Like, this isn't even most of the way full. Yes, there's a little boo-boo on it. Okay. Oh, here's what I bring. I bring active camouflage. On every camp out, I bring the active camouflage. Let's see. This is a Thermarest sit pad that I actually run up against my back and pack everything up against it, and that's what I run. Sit on this guy. Don't need much other than that. I don't really care about the chair as much personally, but yeah, I don't know. Just go to sleep. Yeah, I went and found. Well, I was at a place that had Labubus, and ended up giving 2 of them to my wife, and she's like, I don't like the color, and so she put it in a Slytherin robes from Harry Potter, and we put it on. And she put it on my backpack. Yeah, the pad really helps up against your back if you're carrying particularly a bear box. So if you got one of those bear canisters that you have to carry, this gives you some cushion because the bear canisters are round, and when you put it in your backpack, it pushes up against, like, right up against your spine, and so you kind of need something to lift it off your back. And the shovel, yeah, I do have. By the way, a lot of the little intangible things that I didn't mention is in the pack, but it's linked in the Amazon store. I carry a Deuce of Spades trowel. Where's that at? Oh my god, those stupid. So this guy. This is your bathroom pouch, if you will. Thankfully, they have a pit toilet where we're going. It's just an aluminum. Is it aluminum or is it titanium? I don't know. Made in Korea. Okay. That's what I pack. There you go. That's the whole thing. And that's with the radio. So that is with the KX2, the D75, all that stuff. So that's pretty light. It's nice on my knee, that's for sure. Yeah, my backpack has an internal frame. Maybe. I'm not going to be, well, okay. Let's just say we follow the laws explicitly when we go out with the scouts. I'm just bringing my radio. I'm not going to need a deck of cards. Why am I going to need a deck of cards? I'm going to be getting kids on the radio for Jamborees on the Air. Yeah, a flare gun. I think that Rangers would parachute into our location if they thought I had a flare gun in the extreme fire hazard we have. I've tried that, kind of. The person who did it, which is me one time, and then somebody else, didn't know what we're doing. I've used that. I used the Garmin, which I probably won't be bringing the Garmin. We should have no problem with signal. And I've got my radio, which should be fine too. But I have used the Garmin, and I have used the iPhone when we were in the Hilton Lakes. While I was literally about to go to bed, I texted Leia from the iPhone. It worked great. And I am rocking the new. I had to get the orange boy, so I'm rocking the new 17. So I don't know if that gets me any more satellite features. No alcohol whatsoever. It's a scout camp. Come on now. I will not be bringing paper or heavy things. That is also what I'm. Yeah, I agree. The knee brace worked great. I can't wait to talk to Mark. Please bring that energy to the after chat. I would love to. That is also in that bag, but I wasn't going to show everybody other than the spade. There's toilet paper and a portable bidet as well. Those work great. I wear what is on my body. That usually it's an REI camp shirt and then some kind of lightweight pants. All synthetic, maybe wool, usually a pair of wool socks, a darn tough wool socks, and then an extra pair of underwear, and that's usually it. Usually a underwear for every day, but Josh, keep in mind we're not digging a foxhole, we're digging a cat hole. You don't need to go down very far, about 6 inches, and most of where you're at, if you're digging in hard stuff, you're probably digging in the wrong spot if you're trying to use the restroom. But then it depends on where you're going. Hey, Kenny, how's it going, man? Let me see, did I miss any other one? Oh, what would you pack for a sleeping bag if it was expected to be hot and not cold? A bag liner. So they sell like it's a sleeping bag liner basically, and oftentimes that can be warm enough so you just kind of wear your clothes and you go in the pack liner and then that's it. And then you don't have to bring a sleeping bag. A lot of times you don't need a sleeping bag. You can just sleep on your mat, and just go to bed. Um, so be willing. I agree with you, but I don't, and I'll say why. So the tent I have is like just this too short when I'm sleeping in it, elongated. There are so many little incidental things that you will learn if you are new to this, that if you just go out and spend $500 on the best tent and another $500 on the best sleeping system, you may get the wrong one that's sized for your body. There may be some weird little quirk that this tent has that this one doesn't. You may find that a single wall tent that uses trekking poles to hold it up is completely unacceptable, and you need to have one that has its own freestanding tent pole capability. That's only stuff you learn after you've been doing it for a while. It's kind of like how we recommend a Baofeng. Same deal with hiking and all that stuff, is you kind of have to do it, a little bit. And buying expensive right off the rack stuff is usually not a good idea if you're new. You probably want to try things out. Oh, Lee, you missed the beginning. Yeah, where is it? Oh, I threw it in the bag, didn't I? Yeah, okay. Of course, well, yes. Yes, and of course when I go with the Scouts, I carry a straight blade. Where's my knife? Did I not put it in? Uh-oh, demotions for Gryffindor. Oh, no, wait, I didn't put it in. It's, it'll be on my person, though. So it's a Zula. But no fire, so I don't have to worry about a fire. I'm not trying to take firewood. We're not looking for fuel. Right now, none of the kids will have radios, I don't think. Yeah, I won't be doing any bushcraft, building structures and whatnot. Let's see. Okay, let's wrap it up because we're gonna go do the after chat thing. So join us on the after chat. We can talk more about camping, or really, I can hear what you guys take if you go backpack portable for Parks on the Air, Summits on the Air. I'd love to hear that. I think I saw, maybe I saw Adam. I'm not sure if I did. He's a wealth of knowledge, and he, whatever he says, you could just trust. He's probably tried it, used it, recommends it. But just like everybody else, he has his own things that he enjoys that others may not. And so I'm not kidding when I say like you kind of have to go for a little while. Do it a couple of times to get your own thoughts on what you should do and what you shouldn't do. That's going to be right for you. I like this background too. I don't know what's going on here, but I like it. You're funny. No, dude, you don't wash. I like to wash my hair. Do you have shampoo? The most I bring is a travel thing of deodorant, and then that's it. It's backpacking. You're just going to be dirty. Just expect you're going to be filthy, and you just go. Wear the same clothes, go to bed dirty. That's it. It's fun. I don't know. We'll have to ask Adam. Not if he's trying to show a bunch of kids. He'd probably drag a 7300 up there. Anyway, let's say a big thank you to the patrons. Your guys' support helps me continue to do crazy things like this and my show and my videos and all the other stuff we got going on. And so if you ever want to support me and what I do, Patreon's the best way. Hey, don't get me wrong. I thank you very much for everything you guys do. Even a thumbs up means a lot. But YouTube membership is great. Thank you. Appreciate that. But Patreon's got, a little bit more going on there. And so that helps out a little bit more than the YouTube stuff does. So, yeah, appreciate that. Let's see if we can roll through some more questions. Yeah, jump in the lake. There it is. You got it. Wipes are good. I have stopped bringing wipes. Sometimes I will have a plastic bag of wipes that I put in the toilet paper bag. Yeah, dry shampoo is good too. Yeah, bring your radios to the after chat. I don't use body wash in the rain. I go dirty, man. Yep, there it is. I have a silk sleeping bag liner that I like, and I think it's actually in that backpack, which it doesn't need to be. It's getting too cold for that. I haven't been able to go full hammock camping. I'd like to go full hammock at one point, but I'm not there yet. There are many advantages to buying things from REI. That's one of them. You can swap things out easy. So that is true. If you didn't like an expensive tent, you can just take it back to REI and get something else. I'm not saying do that with 50 tents, but like if you find something like, no, I cannot deal with this, like obviously if it's too short, that's a big one. Yeah, so thank you, patrons and the homebrew crew. Appreciate you. Yeah, we can continue this conversation into the after chat if you'd like to join me over there. I ended up getting a CM5 Raspberry Pi. I don't know that we're going to install it in the U console. I guess it should be the mini console. But I am seeking opinion on how to bridge the gap cooling-wise to the back metal of that thing, because it's a big metal load. We can use that for cooling and heat dissipation. So see you in the after chat. I am Josh, KI6NAZ. Thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you real soon. 73.